Yes, I would love to tell you all about how I got into spreadsheets because, like I said, it is kind of a weird, like, mishmash of things. And now we're here. I wish I could tell you that it was just like, oh, I just really love spreadsheets and like I just always have, but it's a weird, like, the real story is full of failures and learnings, as we're calling them right now. When I first learned about spreadsheets, I was probably like 10 or 11 years old. My mom is an Excel wizard, like wizard. I should actually interview her to show you this retirement financial planner that she made. Oh, you change one thing and like cascade. Wow. So maybe I should do that. Not financial advice though. Just want to put that out there. She taught me all about spreadsheets and like how to do that kind of stuff and manage things and schedule things, like all that kind of like the way that thinks that she taught me how to do that. Fast forward to like I'm 22-ish and I'm an RBT and my clinic is using Excel to document all their session notes and create reports and not create reports, create charts for reports. But it was like really manual and it took hours, like hours a week. And anytime report time came, it was like, oh my gosh, we have to do a report, we have to make a chart. And I'm like, this is insane because the way that they had it set up, and I'm not trying to dog anybody here, just the way that they had it set up was more like if like you needed to print out a form that was like really uniform and you were going to fill it out by hand. That's kind of how it was set up. And like me with my experience understanding how spreadsheets work, I'm like, ideally we should be able to input this once, it sends over here, this cascades over there, this is connected, these make the chart, you press the button and boom. Ideally it should take 30 seconds. So from there, and I just found the instructional video that I made for that like in 2015, 2016. It's cringy and it's so bad. But the template is like fire. I mean, it took me 6 months to make. It has macros. It does the VBA. I mean, it is really, it's over the top and intense. But it was a custom solution and I don't think anybody ever used it, but that's the start of SLP templates, I guess. But I guess at that time it was ABA. So I made that one. That took me like 6 months. After I did that, I started work as an RBT and SLPA for another clinic, and they were actually using like a whole software called Catalyst. And so when we started the speech program there, we had to kind of adapt. Catalyst is for ABA. We had to adapt that for speech. And it worked, but I was also like, this is like way too much. Like this is way too complicated for speech. Like this is not necessary. So from there, I stopped working there and then I wanted to learn front end development. And I had this dream to like build my SLP like software and I was really bad at it. Turns out I don't like development. So then I learned about UX design. And then I actually went to go work for Catalyst as their software designer, which was super fun. I am so glad that I got that opportunity. So I actually worked for them for a little while. I stopped working with them. And then like sometime later, I was like, hey, I wanted to build that SLP like data collection out. Let me see if I can do it. Now I know like how to design software. Maybe I'll give it a try. So I tried that. I also did some digital marketing at the time and some video production and some other stuff and like writing and all this, lots of stuff. I had some ideas. I brought it to FLASHA, which is the Florida Speech and Hearing Association, like their little conference thing. And I didn't know how to do marketing. I didn't know how to do sales. All I knew was I had a dream and a little app design. I said, let me tell you about this really awesome app. And everyone was like, whoa, calm down there. Like, but the feedback that I got was like, oh, I'm not techie. It's too expensive. I can't afford it. But the big one was like, I'm not techie. And I didn't understand it. Why that was such a big deal, because I'm like, you don't have to be techie. Like, that's the idea. It's like, it's user-friendly design. That's the thing. Because I'm a designer. Like, I know how to do this. But with that feedback, sometime later, my husband eventually was like, babe, you're not selling anything. Like, I know you really want to do this, but we've got to move on. Like, this is not happening. And I was like, okay. Give me 1 more month. And I was like, okay, I can do this. Didn't know how to do marketing. Didn't know how to do sales. Didn't know how to, like, nothing. I was like a little baby. Didn't know how to do anything. I'm not claiming to know anything now, but compared to what I know now, I mean, baby. So I stopped and I came on TikTok and I was like, guys, I know I've been talking about this, but I have got to stop. So I stopped. Last January, I still had this dream. I was like, I can make this happen. I don't know how, but I was like obsessed with making this caseload template manager, like the caseload manager, just obsessed. And I had this idea because I learned all about, also in that time, I learned all about like no code development, and I was trying to find like a HIPAA compliant solution. The only thing that's HIPAA compliant solution is something called AppSheets. So I wanted to make something that was a spreadsheet, so you could use it like a spreadsheet or use it like an app, which more to come on that because lots of exciting things are happening. This is getting really hot. My heater's on. Okay. So I had that idea. This was last January. And then I met with an SLP, and honestly, she really kicked off all these templates and like gave me the confidence to really go for spreadsheets, because all the feedback that I got was like, oh, I'm not techie. It's like, okay, who doesn't know how to use a spreadsheet? You might not be like really proficient and expert in it, but you can use a spreadsheet. Like, it's fairly simple to understand. Not understand, but it's easy to explain and easy to get started. It's not very daunting. Which now that I say that, you know, maybe I could do some more education around that. That it's affordable. Like, I can make a template here in my free time just for fun. Yeah, I do it for fun. And then put it up for like 99 cents or $40 million. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, I've already done the work. I'm just here to kind of help support you and teach you how to do it. So it was affordable. It was approachable, I guess is another way to say it. So that, and then in July, I figured out like a breakthrough. I figured out how to do something I like dare to say nobody has ever tried to do this before. I have searched far and wide for templates. I have asked experts how to do this. Nothing. So I had a breakthrough with that, and I had a couple of videos that like went kaplow, and then I was like, oh, I do know what I'm talking about. I do know what I'm doing, and I have this really unique space of understanding speech industry, ABA, and that, plus understanding spreadsheets, plus having the design experience and research experience to be able to, like you said in another comment earlier, like ask good questions, get feedback, listen, iterate, design it, you know, visually, like all that kind of stuff. So it's all kind of coming together. And I'll be completely honest, I am not making $1 million on this. I would love to make this like my full-time thing, but I can't at this moment unless I just don't enjoy being alive and eating things. But it still is my dream to get that caseload manager and data collection and like have it all in one giant mega template that just, anytime somebody's like, oh, I like, this is my dream. It's like, oh man, I'm about to start my SLP job or this or that or the other. It's like, oh, this school, this clinic or whatever is not super organized, but I have a tool that I know how to use and I can share this with other people. And together our clinic will be this much less stress. Together, we're going to really document everything that we need to document and not be like groaning and rolling our eyes. That's my dream. Also, I can't do one-on-one therapy anymore. I can't do it. I do UX now. Like, I just don't have the time. So this is also, like I said, like this is my way of supporting you guys so that you can do the work that I really love to do, but I can't do. So yes, thank you for asking. I've never told that story in its completion, and this was a really long one. Okay.